The tin mining industry started to flourish after the arrival of Chinese immigrants as tin mining labours in Perak. Tin mining was a huge achievement along the foothill of the peninsula on the west side. Atap houses were built along the Kinta Valley, then developed into a small kampong. The original name, Ipoh, has changed to Ipoh. The tin rush of the 1880s caused the town to bloom. As the demand of tin dramatically increased, large scale of Chinese immigration gave rise to Chinese investment. Hence, the development of transportation, roads and buildings were constructed between the principal mining towns. The railway line was built to transport the tin to other main mining towns. However, on June 1, 1892, a fire broke out and destroyed over half the town. The Great Fire of Ipoh gave town planners the opportunity to rearrange the streets in a more orderly grid pattern that remains until today. Overseas chartered banks opened offices, and this was followed by accounting firms, estate agents and brokers. Vast numbers of people, especially Chinese miners, descended upon Ipoh, transforming it into a business and social center. A local Hakka miner, millionaire Yao Tet Shin, expanded the town across the Kinta River, which is the new town of Ipoh, including a market and a theatre. The British has introduced dredging machines which caused the labour force to decline. Many of them became unemployed and some even changed careers into other industries. As time goes by, the Chinese community controlled most of the economy in Ipoh. The Japanese took over Ipoh on December 28, 1941. They made Ipoh as the state capital of Perak. After the British regained control of Ipoh, the city became a center of entertainment and the business community learned to let the good times roll. The site is enclaved by the corner of Brewster Road and Leach Street, which there are shop houses in the surrounding and good view towards the Kinta River. Our site is previously an Oriental cinema. Sadly, it was closed down in 1983, only to be replaced by a car park until today. The remaining traces of the cinema wall structure can be seen on the site that illustrates the boundary of the cinema and the size of the back alley during that period. In the morning and afternoon, Ipoh Old Town is busy with activities. It is relatively less crowded at night, but the hawker stalls and restaurants selling the famous snow beer brings life to the empty streets. Ipoh is a famous food city. Besides workers around the site, visitors from other states and countries regularly flock to Ipoh to taste the historical landmarks of Ipoh Old Town white coffee. Ipoh becomes another tourist attraction after introducing several mural art pieces in the Old Town. The path is categorized according to the traffic density. Primary paths are the main roads that act as an entrance and an exit for the city. Secondary paths are mainly one-way roads which branches out from the primary path in the form of a grid pattern, while tertiary paths are small paths like back alley pedestrian paths. The significant vehicle nodes are the intersection of high-density paths where the pace of the vehicular traffic will slow down. There is a main traffic light located at this node, which will affect all the other nodes as well as the node in front of our site. Vehicle nodes are important to consider as it creates an opportunity for our site to gain attention. The only accessible vehicle path to our site is through Belfield Road to Leach Road, which makes this point as the priority vehicle accessibility. These are the activity nodes around our study area. The trend of the art of Old Town started when Ernest Zakrovich brings in the Ipoh wall art murals. Many art-related activities start to happen around Ipoh Old Town. Connections in between the art-related activities shows strong bonds that can affect the pattern of town development. The particular site is potentially to be a rejuvenating catalyst to capture the sense of arts in the township. This is the legible landform border, Sungai Kinta, that forms the old and new town of Ipoh. A complete township formation should consist of commercial and residential district, administrative district, food and leisure district, as well as artistic zoning for the artistic creations and purposes. Our proposed site gains the opportunity to formulate an artistic area as it is located in the rich contextual location with all the ongoing development of heritage and art-related activities. Furthermore, there are food and leisure district right beside the proposed site as the supportive element for our proposed program. Our proposed site also sits in between the district for future development plans under the government and the district of Old Town for heritage preserving purposes, giving opportunity to our site to be the connecting key of these two districts. The major dominant landmarks around the site are the Padang Ipoh, Majestic in High Court, Dewan Badaran Ipoh, Birch Tower, State Mosque, Complex Yik Fung, and Pusat UTC in the new town. These are the landmarks which are visible from every angle and able to lead the urban viewers to the proposed site. Other than that, there are also some local landmarks that developed and persist the artistic and traditional value to prevent the loss of Ipoh tradition. For instance, the Happy 8 Retreat, Missing Marble Cafe, Restaurant Kong Heng, Tianjin, and more. All these features once again provide the supportive elements to our colony's artistic programs. Over the course of a year, the temperature of Ipoh typically varies from 22 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius, whereas the relative humidity typically ranges from 56% to 100%. Therefore, it is important to design buildings with the consideration of ventilation, such as designing central atrium for natural ventilation or implementing appropriate materials for the building shell to improve the user comfort level. The multiple high-density rainstorm provides suitable condition for applying rainwater harvesting systems to the building. Wind speeds in Ipoh varies from 0 meter per second to 4 meter per second, providing gentle breeze to the area. The prevailing wind are from direction northeast and southwest. The huge road beside the site draws wind towards the area without any obstruction. Therefore, it is wise to bring in cool breeze with strategically opening design. The length of the day does not vary substantially over the year, staying within 12 years throughout. However, the adjacent building Maybank helps provide shading to the site. The pedestrian circulation shows the possible entrance approach to the proposed site. Pedestrians from the Riverfront Hotel will not be able to reach our site as there are no zebra crossing on the main road. The gigantic mature tree, approximately 24 meters tall with a crown spread of 18 meters wide in diameter, is significant to the site. As the site is located beside the main road, the mature tree helps to filter the air by absorbing tons of the carbon dioxide. The trees soften the edges between solid buildings, which provide more pleasant sensation to the pedestrians. The height of the trees that is near to the site entrance is averaging at 12 to 18 meters tall, with a crown spread of approximately 8 meters wide in diameter. The traffic noise from the main road is low, with a soft sound of flowing river from the service room of Maybank Tower, as well as the motorcycles that pass by the pathway. There are illegal dumping sites, including the sidewalk, the rear of the site, and under the bridge. This issue will create an uncomfortable environment as it releases bad smell towards the site. With a soft sound of flowing river, the hustle of the main road traffic is the major cause of the high noise level. The high density of vehicles that crosses the bridge releases smog and causes pollution. As a point beside the traffic node, the sound sources are mainly from the vehicles, and also some temporary construction and celebration noise. The major contributors to bad smell are vehicles passing through the main road towards the new town. Less circulation of the vehicles reduces the noise of the traffic. However, due to the preservation works beside, a temporary construction noise affects the serenity of the site. By having the one-way traffic, the emission of smog and pollution by the vehicles is lesser than the main road. Currently, the site is a public car park which is able to accommodate 70 plus cars on the weekdays, as the parking space is quite limited. A car park for our Artist Colony project is crucial in our design. The retaining wall is necessary to prevent soil erosion, as Kinta River is near to our site, especially during the monsoon season. The existing retaining wall causes our site to have two different adjacent ground levels. The reserved landscape is 2.8 meters higher than our selected site. It increases the design quality of accessibility between our building and the riverside activities. The shop houses along the both sides of the street are creating a comfortable feeling for the pedestrians, with an unobstructed view. As the site is located at the Ipoh Old Town, with a variety of food restaurants and cafes, the street brings joy and liveliness by drawing the crowds. The edge of the shop houses at the sides of the abandoned space acts as an outline that frames and emphasizes the views. The communal space in Plan B restaurant gives a sense of permeability with visual connection to the street. A sense of appreciation to the beauty of art is brought by the mural paintings alongside the peaceful alley. A feeling of emptiness and tranquility is perceived along the 5-foot walkway of the shop houses. A relaxed and comfortable feeling with pleasant views when walking along the riverbank. With the help of vegetation on site, the site provides a shaded and well-ventilated space for the users and pedestrians. The retaining wall obstructs the view across the river from the site, with a feeling of restriction due to the difference in ground level. Overwhelming well-being surrounded by the tall buildings that does not preserve the pedestrian scale of the street. The site acts as a gateway that connects between the old and new town through the bridge. The river located beside the site acts as a catalyst. It possesses strong visibility from different points around the site. It is easy to access our site from KTM, commercial area, the path along the river, and the new town. There are few heritage nodes at the site that helps attract tourists to our site. Art surrounding the site, such as mural paintings, art and culture textile, handicraft could be brought into the site. integrating with the river, whereby the proposal of design may provide activities connecting the river with site. Bringing in open public space and streetscape from the surrounding site into the design. Opportunity to interact with different artists around the world. Most of the roads and streets are one-way paths. People cross the road recklessly due to the lack of pedestrian zebra crossing lane. Flood might happen during heavy rain caused by river overflow and drainage problems. Located in between the bastions called Revolt and Boisgelier in Besançon, the site reflects the historical richness of the city. Remarkable vestige of a prestigious history, the existing building in bricks attest of the industrial river traffic and activity of the region. The site is inscribed in a generous natural environment in between Hill Besançon hillside and close to the riverside of the Doubs. Entitled Cité des Arts, this culture center comprises of Besançon Art Center and the Cité de la Musique, a music school with its own auditorium. This project is the result of the union between history and architecture, water and light, city and nature. The site brings with itself both its own history and the history of the city. The project, its longitudinal geometry, is following the orientation given by the Vauban, the warehouse, while all storage of wood is kept and participate in the richness of the building. Besançon Art and Culture Center strikes a chord with the environment by the fusion of different scale of reading, from the details to the entire project, by blurring the limits between interior and exterior to create a building that is able to enter in resonance with its environment, the hills, the river, and the city of Besançon. The roof creates the link between the building and its environment and makes the project blatant. Semi-transparent, the roof symbolizes the fusion between built and non-built and acts as camouflage when they view it from the citadel, a local castle in Besançon Hill. It is an invitation to the citizens to gather below its protections. It symbolizes the encounter between the city and the nature, the citizen and the riverbank, the public and the culture. The overall ground plan shows the music school and art center is separated by an art passage pedestal, a semi-outdoor space overhanging the street and connected to the river by a large staircase. It creates a pathway for the public from the street to the riverside, appreciating the view along the river. The art center takes in a converted 1930s warehouse for use as an extra gallery. It is partially connected to the pedestal and creates a continuous art passage from outdoor to indoor. Workshops, studios, classrooms, and other private spaces located at second and third floor. Unified below the large roof, this transparency of facade is partially defined by the necessity of the program. The large lobby is exposed as much as possible transparently, open to both art passage and city side. The natural light is diffused through the random positioned glass panels of the roof in order to achieve the feeling of being below canopies of trees, where the light gently diffuses through leaves down to the ground. Suspended by a timber framework, the facade, made of a variation of transparency and opacity, represents a unique and innovative design. The thin, pixelized layer floating on top of the Doubs River, the shadow and light variations interweaves with the reflections of the reflection pond and becoming at night a landmark reinforcing the entrance of the city. In conclusion, Cité des Arts et de la Culture perpetuate the notion of protection, but can be read as a monumental gate between the city and the river. The design reinforced the genius loci of the site through a strong and clearly identifiable building, but still respecting the relationship between the existing bastion, the river, and the city. Similar to our site, which is located beside the Sungai Kinta, it has the strength to become a new landmark and a gateway between the old town and the new town of Ipoh. The Nida Art Colony is located in Nida, Lithuania, in the northern part of Europe. It is on the Curonian Spit, which is a peninsula dividing the Curonian Lagoon and the Baltic Sea. Nida is a very small resort town in Lithuania of only 1,650 residents. Majority of the land is still undeveloped. Due to this reason, Nida remained an unspoiled and clean territory where it became a meeting place for artists and other people seeking the experience of an untouched nature. Until today, Nida became famous as a colony for artists and named it as Paradise of Painters because they found the Curonian Spit an oasis of peace and a source of creative inspiration for their artwork. The program held in the colony is an Artist in Residence, which offers curated and independent stays for artists, designers, architects, curators, and art researchers from Lithuania and all over the world. It aims to foster creativity, critical thinking, innovative ideas and processes, exchange and cooperation of artists. The building consists of 3 separate structures which are closely related and means one. The building consists of 3 separate structures which are closely related and means one. The 3 parts are connected using corridors and represents 3 lines: individual, collective, and public. Each building is divided by the corridor in between to differentiate the public and private spaces. The first block is a residency studio working place for artists, lecturers, and guests. There are 5 2-story fully equipped residences for artists. 3 of the residences have studios, bathrooms, and kitchenettes on the ground floor, with bedrooms on the first floor. 2 have studios upstairs and bedrooms downstairs. The studios and bedrooms vary slightly in size, but they average at 30 square meters each. This residency functions as a space where the guest artists can have their private discussion and working space. The second block is a collective space, which is the main block of the art colony. This block is mainly for students. Residents can use all the communal space of the colony: the conference hall, communal kitchen, media library, laundry, and toilet. While on the first floor, there are more studio rooms and an open roof terrace which is provided for students as communal space. The third block is a public gallery space. It consists of a double volume gallery, 2 levels of library with a digital image room, a workshop with an exhibition space, storage, and toilet. Going up the first floor, there is a cafe beside the library and another roof terrace which connects to the main building. This central open-air terrace acts as the node in the colony where all the residents would like to gather up at this space. And standing at eye level with the roof areas, the detailing surrounding has a great visual importance. In conclusion, the overall objective of the NIDA Art Colony is to improve the quality of art and design education in the field of art education by promoting international cooperation. Hence, the NIDA Artist in Residence program gives a very good example for our Artist Colony project, where it offers an opportunity to unite all the local and international artists in Ipoh and provoke our local art education.
我们现在最大的问题是资源方面啦，因为艺术家是没有钱的嘛，他们创作也是要需要很多材料。现在希望说通过全民，我们会做一些活动比如说电影分享会或者灯笼制作希望能抽到一些经费。当然，我们也希望我们会每一幅壁画其实都可以变成就是变成 T 恤变成 T 恤。首先，你的呈现的地方有2个，一个是室外，另外一个就是这些作品没有办法在热晒雨淋的情况底下摆设的话，你就必须要做室内。那么第一就是展览方面的东西啦，第二就是教育，必须要通过教育来让艺术接近文化、接近生活接近民众然后第三，你要生存的话，你就有一些商品在运作。我希望说能不能通过一个组织，让更多的人然后可以发挥，希望能够组织更多的不同风格的创作者，例如涂鸦，例如水墨画这个装置艺术，还有陶艺，还有一些书法。
From the precedent studies, we have learned that there are several key spaces that is needed in an artist colony. Communal spaces such as gallery, courtyard, cafeteria, and riverside promenade allow the interaction between the living artists with the public. A designated learning space provides an encouraging and stimulating environment for the artists to accomplish their masterpiece with different kinds of workshops according to their particular art discipline. A library full of inspiring resources could be provided in the artist colony as well. In order to meet the needs of the living artists in their accommodation and work, the residency should be equipped with the basic facilities. The strategy of the spatial arrangement is essentially planned according to the private and public space. With a car park, the public ground floor encompasses the reception, which acts as a welcoming space to lead the user to the upper floors of the building. The cafe is located beside the riverbank promenade to have visual engagement to the contacts. Artists' works that is showcased in the gallery is visible from the exterior, as the building sits right in front of the road. The workshop is a transition space between the public space and the artist's residency. It fosters greater interactions between the artists. Accommodations for the artists are placed at the uppermost floor to ensure the privacy and serenity. Due to the high decibel level of vehicle noise, the building frontage should act as a buffer zone to lower down the sound level. For example, an open public space that allows higher standard noise level can be located at this area, such as a bazaar, with suitable greenery integration and proper material selection. A cafeteria could be located next to the riverside to interact with either the vista or the activities. It will revitalize the dull side of the river. Vista from high level could gain attention from urban viewers. Therefore, spaces such as galleries, exhibition space, or workspaces are suitable to be located at this area.